Okay, things are kind of popping off, and I got the sun streaming through the window on my face. Uh, mm, mm, let's see if I can hit. So here we have Jensen Huang, Nvidia CEO Huang. Our country should invest in AI and applied regulations where it makes sense on CNBC. Probably this is not going to be uploaded for copyright issues. Oh man, this guy.
When you get the chance to sit down with one of the most important business people on earth, Jensen Huang, the founder, president, and CEO of Nvidia, you take as much time as he'll give you. Even though the stock has come down from its highs, it's still pivotal right now. So we had lots to talk about.
I mean, this guy's job is essentially trying to make boring stuff exciting, right? And yeah.
Take a look. Now, we are trying to figure out whether AI will always be derivative. When I put in a question, in the end, it scrapes everything, but it scrapes everything. I want new. I want something original and not derivative. Will they able to put it all together and actually suggest that this would be a better way to look at it?
It turns out.
What do you mean by derivative? I'm not saying I disagree, but sometimes Kramer is a bit incoherent.
That all of that foundation knowledge is just foundation knowledge. What we really want the AI to do is to learn how to solve problems, learn how to reason, apply rules, apply knowledge, break a problem down one by one, step by step, and solve problems. That's intelligence. But you can't teach an AI that skill of solving problems. You can't teach AI reason.
Okay, I mean, it's a good ambition to have. So I guess it sort of gives away what their approach is.
Reasoning without first having a foundation knowledge of what are numbers, how do words work together, what's vocabulary, what's syntax, what's grammar, so that it could learn some basic knowledge. Once it has the basic knowledge like we have AI today, notice how quickly we're teaching them how to reason.
Right.
And so it's learning how to reason. It's learning how to solve problems. It's learning how to solve math problems, geometry problems, prove theorems, prove logic. It's starting to learn those things.
I mean, it can't safely drive you down a highway at near 100% of the time, so I don't know. I mean, it does some stuff, but I mean,
things by itself, and so it's really fantastic.
Well, this next level, even now, when you look at a deeper search from GPT, when you look at Grok, they have opinions.
Yeah.
They're thoughtful. They're not yes men anymore.
Well, they'll argue with you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's happening now, though.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And
how did that? Did you know?
I mean, that's down to the coding. You can make it as belligerent as you want it to. Why are they so easily impressed by this?
What did you have last year?
Well, I'm in the industry, so we see progress, and
you're in the kitchen,
I can tell you that AI is going to progress very quickly over the next several years, and the answers that it provides, it will be surely more accurate, surely much more contextually relevant.
I think this is where Jensen really shines, is in one-on-one interviews as opposed to presentations. But let's see what he has to say. How much is fluff? I don't know.
And it'll be able to answer and solve problems that are quite useful to us.
What can our nation and our government do to further what you're talking about?
I think that our country should also invest in AI. We should, of course, talk about the importance of the technology, apply regulation where it makes sense, but also invest in using AI across the country, in every.
Well, why don't we have a strategic?
Okay, so invest money, buy Nvidia GPUs.
AI reserve. We have one for something as meretricious as Bitcoin.
We should at least build the AI infrastructure so all of our scientists.
I'm not disagreeing with them. I think it should be provided. It should be provided very cheap. But I think there needs to be a general upgrade of the science infrastructure across the board, not just sprinkle AI. And Jensen gets to pocket some money.
In the United States can use the AI infrastructure, and however it comes about, whether it's a strategic reserve, but the country needs to invest in an AI infrastructure.
Now, when we talk about this, we almost immediately talk about the Chinese and all.
The country needs to invest in science infrastructure across the board, not just AI infrastructure. If it does only AI infrastructure, we are so screwed. We are so screwed.
Almost a Sputnik-like race in 1957. Are we being too small-minded, and we shouldn't be thinking about the amount of business you do with China? Maybe that things are much further along than that mentally? Are we constraining ourselves with these discussions about politics and tariffs? Are these too small?
If I think it's safe to say that we can't hold any country back or
Okay, one, he's ethnically Chinese, even though he's from Taiwan. Two, his stuff is manufactured largely in China. So I think in the last few years he's gotten very good at walking on hot coals, because he doesn't want the Chinese to stop buying his stuff either. So what is Cramer looking for? Is there a strategy leading into this? Is this a leading question to try to get a suggestion from Jensen that he wanted to say? Or is it just, I don't know, Cramer being random?
anyone back in advancing and developing intelligence. And surely AI is just digital intelligence.
Okay.
And so I think everyone is going to develop it. If everyone's going to be developing it, let's make sure that they develop it on American technology, American architecture, and the American
My technology, my architecture.
standards. And so that's what I would advocate.
So he is very concerned also that the Chinese are going to overtake in hardware as well pretty soon.
And then secondarily, I would say, let's make sure that we are creating the conditions and investing in a way that allows our country to be far, far, far ahead. And so everything that we can do to speed up our advancement, everything we could do to speed up education here, startups here, economic development here using artificial intelligence, we absolutely should.
No, but
Come on, Jensen. I mean, what are you doing? What is Nvidia doing? I mean, it's an oligarchy. Let's be honest. I mean, like you and your pals own most of the money. You sit in the infrastructure, right? I mean, the money is not being spread around. What are you doing specifically? You know, not just dropping some things here and there, you know, like, oh, apply for this grant, blah, blah, blah. Like, what are you doing that makes some real on the ground, like grassroots changes?
when there was this DeepSeek issue,
I mean, because Jensen, what you need to think is now that at least for the next couple of years, you are the government. The things that you want the government to do, you have to do, unless you want to wait for 2028. That's up to you. But I guess 2029. But you are the government, you and your friends. You're running everything. So you can't say like, oh, the government needs to invest in AI. You are the government. You have all the money. Like, where the government money, where our tax dollars have gone, no one knows, right? But this phenomenal amount of wealth that lies in these large corporations, that's all we know for now. So you are the government.
your stock took a $600 billion hit. I tried to reach you. I was told it was quiet period, that we could have easily explained that this is actually good for Nvidia.
Yeah.
Why not have said that during that period?
We were during a quiet period.
But you still came out 2 days before. It was 25 days, and then you did it in a video 2 days before.
Well, next time.
Come on, Kramer. I mean, he's ethnically Chinese, East Asian. DeepSeek was a body blow to the AI industry over here. It was a huge shock. So for him to come and try to defend, like, be realistic, man. We live in very weird times.
Next time you should contact me directly, and I'll come out and explain it.
Well, because it's a good thing.
Yeah. R1 DeepSeek was a fantastic thing. And the reason for that is because R1 is the first open sourced reasoning model. What makes R1 incredible is that it reasons. That's why the answer is so good. And it breaks the problem down step by step. It asks its
look how he's trying to play both sides of the border, like say something nice to the Chinese. R1 is great.
itself, while it's thinking, it comes up with several different options for the answer. It might actually verify that the answer is correct. It solves a quadratic equation, takes the number, plugs it back in, and makes sure that it actually solves the equation. And so it's a reasoning AI. This reasoning AI consumes 100 times more compute than a non-reasoning AI.
And that's you.
It was exactly the opposite. It was the exact opposite conclusion that everybody had.
And
it actually consumes 100 times more computing.
Well, it's kind of amazing because people are threatened by quantum. Quantum may use 1,000 times more compute.
Well, we're going to have to go help all the quantum computer companies, and this is going to be the first conference at GTC where we have a quantum.
What are they talking about? DeepSeek's R1 reasoning AI consumes 100 times more compute than wasn't. Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't understand why is everyone so confused by these.
Day. And so all of my friends in the quantum industry are going to come, and we're working together to create classical quantum hybrid computers, because a computer can't just be quantum, and we like quantum to be able to accelerate many algorithms. And so creating a classical quantum computer using this architecture we call CUDA-Q. It's being adopted by the
2 years, 5 years, 10 years?
Well, I'm not making any more predictions.
No, right. And I didn't mean more predictions.
Yeah, but
your quantum friends will give you a little lashing.
But I do know that all of our colleagues are working as fast as they can. I know they're making excellent progress, and we're working with everybody to accelerate the developments of quantum. But right now, we're $150 billion of AI infrastructure into trillions of dollars we have to go build. And so we have partnerships with BlackRock and Microsoft, and we're going to go get the supply chain and the infrastructure ready upstream as well as downstream.
To do what specifically, man?
And the demand is really incredible.
BlackRock reached out to me this morning to say, look, this is incredibly important. BlackRock, they were talking about a 1 gig data center, 40 to 50 billion. Disney reached out to me today. Cisco, talked to GM, CrowdStrike. These partnerships that are eye glaze over partnerships, when you have the 18 that were announced yesterday that I counted, are all incredibly significant for big companies that trade publicly that want me to know how important what you're doing is with them. But no one seems to understand that there could be 20, 30 things that you're doing.
We announced several things yesterday, and let me make it very simple this way. We're building AI infrastructure for the cloud. That everybody knows. Right?
That's true.
That's true. Everybody knows that. They're just delighted that all of a sudden AI reasoning is going to require 100 times more computing, and the demand is incredible. So that's AI cloud. What we announced yesterday is that we're going to take AI infrastructure into 2 new industries. One is enterprise IT. Half of the world's capex is in enterprise. Enterprises, how
it's
the
not
economy.
Consumer people.
It's not consumer. It's enterprise, and it's the IT department of enterprise, and so we have to help them integrate AI into the world's companies.
Right.
And so our partnership with Dell and HPE and Accenture and ServiceNow and CrowdStrike and all these great companies. DDN and NetApp and Vast and all these great companies that we're working with are going to reinvent the enterprise IT with new AI infrastructure. And then the third growth opportunity for us now is AI for robotics. Before you have robots, you have to do AI for robotics.
I mean, robotics is really needed if the US wants to secure a reliable, cheap source of manufacturing in the US. And it needs to do it like in a really big way. But again, I don't see overwhelming drive. I don't see a glut of opportunities in the US. I just don't see it. I mean, despite what they say, what I see with my own two eyes is an increasing number of very talented tech people losing their jobs, leaving jobs that are just garbage jobs, doing nothing, and then fighting for a smaller and smaller pool of relevant jobs. You know, that's what it seems like to me.
They have to be smart. Right. And so that's going to take mountains of infrastructure as well. And so we now have to build AI infrastructure for 3 industries: for the cloud, for enterprise IT, and for robotics.
Well, that's, in the end, that's the world.
This is, we're going to be the foundation.
In the end, that's the world. I just what does that mean?
For
the world.
The world, hopefully, yeah.
One company?
Oh, we have.
Or even Jensen was like, yeah, sure. If you want, okay, fine, the world. So I give up. Sure, the world, whatever that means. Can we talk about something else?
We have tons of partners. Look at us. You know, just about every company in the world's, just about every company in every industry is here. It's incredible. We have car companies, healthcare companies.
Well, so far, the GPUs are still quite pricey. Nvidia is very expensive. And so, I mean, it's only a matter of time before, China releases, the DeepSeek for physical GPUs. Could be this year. 10 times cheaper. At a tenth of the cost, you get something that is, 90% the performance of the latest Nvidia GPU. That's the direction that it's headed.
Of course, the entire computer industry is here.
I mean, Jensen is hoping it doesn't happen. He's hoping his connections and everything will protect him. But worst comes to worst, they'll just ban it from selling in the U.S.
Well, I mean, let's say I have that robot that's in my house. It's joining me, pouring me a good cup of Joe. How many Reuben, I don't know, chips that how many will it have of yours?
Well, it only needs one of these.
Oh, thank heavens. One $40,000 chip then?
No, it's a smaller version.
Oh, okay.
It has one version that sits in the computer inside.
That was spontaneous, not a planted question at all.
The robot. But don't forget, there's a data center, a whole AI infrastructure, supercomputers, teaching the AI to run on this computer, to do its job, do its tasks. And so the AI that's in the data center is gigantic, and you see these systems behind us.
I mean, it's inference versus training. So the big data centers are for training. This chip in his hand is for inference. So it might do a little bit of, on-the-go, learn-as-you-go stuff. But mostly it's far more efficient, I think, to feed the data back here, pool everyone's data, and then retrain, and then release a new model for the inference chips. And also inference chips are specifically designed to be low energy use for inference only. So, doing training on an inference chip would be super inefficient.
That all these systems is what it's going to take to develop the software that runs on a chip like this inside the robot. And so the robot is actually the end. That's the end. The beginning is all of this.
Well, okay, I'm thinking about a world where it feels, just between this year and last year, the future is coming to the present. They are converging right now, right here.
And
the future
super
and the
fast.
present.
and super fast.
Super fast.
And super fast. Look, a year ago we were talking about generative AI, where AI was able to produce text, summarize documents,
Dynamite.
create images, all that stuff. That was fantastic. Last year was all about generative AI. All of a sudden, here we are, 1 year later, everything is about reasoning, solving problems. AI is doing math, solving geometry, And so they're reasoning. And this reasoning capability, as it applies to robots, is you give a robot a job, a task, and it's got to reason, okay, what do I pick up first?
Right.
What do I maneuver it around? What do I do next? Maybe open a drawer. And how do I put this in? Should I stand it up or lay it on the side? It's got to reason about that.
Can it make the bed?
Well, sure. It's going to reason. You said make the bed. And so it's going to say, okay, make the bed. What does that mean? Break it down step by step by step.
My exclusive with Jensen Wang.
Okay, he's going in another sales and marketing pitch where the results